Hi, welcome back to another episode of Big Daddy's Real Talk. It's your girl Grace. So life has been like kind of busy. I really didn't know what to talk about last week, so I was like, I just won't record because like obviously I don't want to force anything. I like to do this because it's fun. So if I don't have an idea, I don't want to seem like forcing anything. So so obviously my first segment is like talking about guys I've seen on dating apps. So this one is this guy added me on. It's like, hey, can I add you on Snap? I was like, whatever. Sure. Don't know much about him. Know he lives in Baltimore. Knows what he looks like. But I like don't really talk to him. I added him like maybe a week and a half ago. And then like a couple of nights ago he goes, I'm leaving town in a week. Or is like 2 weeks. I'm like, oh, okay, so like, sure. So what does that have to do with me? He goes, you want to hang out? I'm like, no, I don't really want to hang out. Like, I don't want to hang out with someone that I know nothing about. I feel like that's logical. He goes, well, we've been talking for a while. I was like, no, we haven't. No, we haven't. We like don't know anything about each other. And then he's been really persistent. And then tonight he was like, I leave next Wednesday. I was like, okay, so what? He goes, don't you want something short term fun? I was like, I don't know what I want, but like, I don't think that's what I want right now. I'm like, especially if someone who's leaving town, he goes, you said something. It was like longer than that, but I was like, what the fuck, dude? I don't know anything about you. I know your name. I know where you live. I know what you look like. But he's going to South Carolina. And he also lives like far. He lives like an hour away, so I'm like, I don't want to drive. I hate driving. So, yeah. For this week, where I'm going to talk about my elementary middle school. Some stories from that. So, I went K through 8 to a school called St. Timothy's in Chantilly, Virginia. Um, a lot of people who went to Paul VI went to St. Timothy's. It's a big feeder school. Um, it used to be a lot more kids, but then St. Veronica's opened like maybe like 15, 20 minutes away, so it stopped pulling as many people. St. Timothy's did. But when I first started there, and my brothers all went there, the colors were brown and yellow. So like girls wore like a yellow Peter Pan top with a brown and like yellow and white jumper, and guys wore a yellow shirt, button-up shirt with a brown tie and brown pants. It was supposed to represent the dirt and the sun, nature. But everyone was like, it's poop and pee. We'll poop and pee. We'll poop and pee. So, I think like once I hit fourth or fifth grade, they changed the colors to black and gold. Most standard colors. But I did spend a lot, like half of my time there in brown and yellow. Poop and pee. Um, so yeah, obviously I went there from K to 8. My brother was a seventh and eighth grader when I was a kindergartner and first grader, so I always had him. So in the first grade, when he was in eighth grade and I was a first grader, obviously like I was in carpool. I would like wait for my little carpool, and all these girls would like hug me. I'm like, why are you hugging me? I was like, I get that I'm a beautiful, cute kid, but why are you hugging me? It's obviously, like, thinking back, it was because my brother was so cool. No, he was actually cool. Like, not just because he's my older brother, he was actually, like, definitely cool. He was, like, basketball. He was a big sports guy. He was funny. He was he's traditionally attractive. Um, but yeah, so like 4 girls would hug me every day. I was like, yo, what the fuck? And then also with my brother, in first grade, the how our carpool worked was K through 6 was on one side of the street, and since there were so many of us, 7th and 8th graders were on the other side by the church. So K through 6 was by the school, 7th and 8th graders were across by the church more. And one time my brother was like, well, come on, Grace, like, come over here with us, the 7th and 8th graders. You can hang out with me and my friends. And so I did. And then one of his friends punched me a little too hard for my first grader self because of a punch buggy. And I started crying. And then I got in trouble for being over there. So they took me to the right side. And I ran. I didn't. I think I wanted to cry. I was going to, but I was like, I can't cry in front of people. But that was just so funny. Um, and then also in first grade, I got glasses in the middle of first grade. Um, so I got my little glasses. I got these brown rim glasses. And I remember, I was like, because of Arthur, I was like, everyone's going to call me Four Eyes. And I always forgot my glasses. I always had people remind me for my glasses. Um, but there was this boy who, as soon as I came back from winter break with my little glasses, he fell in love with me and wanted to marry me. And of course, like first and second graders, they have like those dumb weddings. I always said it was like I was going to have one, but I never did. So, but boy was in love with me because I had glasses. It's because he had glasses, and he finally was like, "Oh, I'm not the only kid with glasses." Um, so yeah. And then second grade, um, the so there was like at my school, there was first through 8th grade there was 2 classes. Let's say for first, it was like 1A, 2A. No, it's 1A, 1B. So everyone there was an A and a B version of every class. And in second grade, I was in 2B, and I was so the 2A teacher was a lot stricter, but her class got to hatch chickens. I was so jealous because my class was going to hatch butterflies, but we never did. And so I was so jealous that they got to hatch chickens. We also did President's Day in second grade, where we dressed up as either a president or a first lady, and I dressed up as Jacqueline Kennedy. I had like the cutest little outfit, but I didn't know how to say Jacqueline at the time, so I said Jackie Kennedy, which works. And so I had we would march to all the classes and be like, whoa. We had like little note cards, and we were like, oh, I am this person, and this is a fun fact, and we had like 5 fun facts, I think. So it was really pretty cute. I like had this like little outfit from Costco. It looked adorable. And then yeah, like my younger days weren't as memorable. In fourth grade, it was a pretty good time. We did Colonial Day, and we were one of the only classes at the time. Like I think we were like the first class for our field trip in fourth grade. We only went on one, but we went to Jamestown and Williamsburg, and that was like huge. We had to get up and be at school at like 6 a.m. to take the bus down. And we had this huge charter bus, and I remember there was a bathroom. Someone pooped in the bathroom. It was so stinky. Um, but that was like a really fun field trip, and like it was so cool that we got to go on that. Um, And then we had Colonial Day where we got to dress up in like colonial garb. Um, my parents are huge fans of Williamsburg and Jamestown, so they actually went on their honeymoon there. And they actually used to visit a lot when I was a kid. So I got like this very like traditional peasant girl four, no, it was like 3 layers colonial outfit. I looked like a little colonial girl in a little village. But everyone else had these like they were like the rich colonial girls, and I was the peasant. Um, but I loved my outfit. I remember I loved it because it was authentic. It was from Williamsburg. And then my mom my mom was a teacher, so she didn't get much like time off to volunteer. Um, as a kid, like when I was a kid, but she did volunteer for my colonial day, and her station she worked was cross stitching. And so she had me practice cross stitching so she could understand them more. And I like did a G, and then I did it on actual colonial day. Um, And yeah, so that was fourth grade we did that. Fifth grade we did Cinco de Mayo. I don't really remember a lot of our celebrations from Cinco de Mayo, but I do remember we watched Beverly Hills Chihuahua, which famously stars George Lopez as a Chihuahua, and ate fried ice cream, which was vanilla ice cream rolled in cinnamon toast crunch. And that was pretty great because I liked ice cream. And then sixth grade we did medieval day, and I had a cute little gown, but it was whatever. Um, that was also the first year of my school transition. So before me, it was it was considered elementary and junior high. So junior high was just seventh and eighth grade. They had their own building. Oh yeah, because when I was there, like when I was like in third grade maybe, they built a preschool. And originally the preschool was going to be in a separate building. So the classrooms in that building were really small. The library was there. But then parents were like, we don't want our kids walking to a new building for preschool. So the 7th and 8th graders went there in the tiny classrooms. But there were lockers. Um, and so But when I was in sixth grade, they transitioned from junior high to middle school, which we had the start of advisory. We had each teacher, it was like weird. Each teacher in sixth, seventh, and eighth grade had their own subject they taught. Um, and all of that. So we were the start of that. Um, it was kind of rocky, but we had electives and all that. But yeah, it was kind of rough. Also, I forgot to mention, in fifth grade, I had no friends. I'm like, wish I was kidding. So, like I mentioned before, we had 5A, 5B. I was in 5A. None of my friends were in 5A. All my friends were in 5B. And I was like, miserable. Because when we did stuff as classes, like find a partner in your, like find a friend in your class to be your partner, blah, blah, blah. I had no one. My best friend at the time was Chelsea, and she was in 5B. All of my friends were in 5B. It was so sad. But then sixth grade was better because Chelsea was in my class, and I was like so happy. All my friends were actually, a bunch of my friends were. And then I had like a really close group of friends that year. It was me, Chelsea, a girl named Beth Geisel, a girl named Maddie Williams, and a girl named Alyssa Titzer. We were super close. And we decided to do a friendship week where we every day we would sell. One person would give gifts to the other person, other people in the friend group, and and to celebrate our friendship. And we had this one girl named Lindsay Cosby, who we were like, "Do you want to be part of our friends thing?" We were like, oh, some of us were friends with her, some of us weren't. It was like kind of iffy. We weren't like super close with her, but like we were friends with her, and she considered us her friend group. She also, side note, broke her leg and arm a lot. Like she always was in a cast. Um, yeah. And then so we were like, "Do you want to be part of our friendship week? Yes or no?" And originally she said no. And then like a week before we did, she goes, "I want to be part of it." And I said, "Bitch," because my gift was giving each of them a Bath and Body Works hand sanitizer. And I picked it based on what scents I thought they would like. So I was like, "Bitch, I already got this. Like, I can't ask my mom to take me again." I think I ended up getting her one, but I was like, "What the fuck?" And then also with Lindsay Cosby's, she never ate her lunch except for her giant ass grape tomatoes. So she would give us her lunch, and me and Chelsea would always split her pepperonis. Like we were like, yeah, that's it. We get the pepperonis every day. Um, but yeah, I like completely forgot about that. I like follow her on Instagram, and she's like in Florida, and she's like super Republican now. But she has a dog that's kind of cute, and her boyfriend kind of looks old, but good for her. And then what else happened? Seventh grade, the first time I got a detention, which was actually really rare in like this St. Tim's. It's because I we had a really hard history class, and like I did really bad on the quizzes because it was fill in the blank, and I've never been good at history. So I like forged my mom's signature because like if you got a really bad grade, you had to have your parents sign it. And I forged my parents' signature, so I'm like embarrassed. But I did detention. What else happened? Not much. I kind of lived life. I was in. I was inducted to the NJHS, and then eighth grade I got kicked out because my grades weren't good enough. I was like, if you know me, you know I'm not a school person. So that was fun. Um, and then eighth grade. Oh, eighth grade, so much shit happened. Um, so we had four new people come in our eighth grade year. All but one left, and the one who left was the one we actually wanted to leave because he like sat in front of me in two of my classes, and one of his classes was after gym, and he was sweaty, and he would shake his hair because he had Justin Bieber hair, and sometimes sweat would get in my paper. Um, and then he was also posted covers of him singing and playing the piano on YouTube. Me and my friends used to roast him on it. But yeah, but one of the girls that like who came in as one of the four who left, she ended up leaving for mental things because she ended up burning herself and had really bad depression. And then I think she also had diet pills, which leads to like my next story, which is one time during lunch they said, "Girls, you need to eat lunch in this classroom." And we're like, "Okay." And then so it was the five, no, it was the four, seventh and eighth grade homeroom teachers. And then, I think our vice principal and our principal came and they would call us one by one to search our locker for pills. I think it got around that someone had diet pills. I think that's what it was. Um, um, and so they like searched my locker. The principal did, and the principal loved me. And all I had was water bottles, like plastic water bottles I would drink on my way to school. And I didn't throw them away because I was a hoarder as a child. Um, and then the funniest was someone searched Isabella Whitfield's locker, and in her backpack she had a thing of wasabi peas, and she had to explain what they were to the teacher. And the teacher was like searching for pills, and she's like, "There's no pills in there. It's legit only wasabi peas." But they did find pills in someone's locker, and she said it was just allergy meds. But was it? We don't know. And then one of the other four people who ended up leaving my eighth grade year, who came in my eighth grade year, he asked one of my friends for nudes. And I went to Catholic school, so that's a no-go. So we had a whole meeting about this and saying that's like inappropriate. Um, but yeah. And then there was like, yeah. What else happened? Oh, and then, oh my god, this is the craziest. So we were doing like this like class color war thing in eighth grade. Um, we did like every year, like for a couple years, but in eighth grade, your color is black. So I was in charge of making our poster. So I was like, I took charge. I was like, what should our team name be? And we ended up being like Black Lightning or Black Thunder because I came up with it. But someone goes, we should be Blackie Chan. And everyone wants to be Blackie Chan. And I had to be like, no, we can't be Blackie Chan. That's racist. Um, and I got a lot. My classmates did not like me for that, but whatever. We love white Catholic school things. Um, but yeah, and then so that was fun. Oh my gosh, this one girl. So this girl ended up going to PBI later on. She was super popular. Um, on the lacrosse team, did SGA, but didn't finish school doing SGA. If you catch my drift, we weren't allowed to have color hair, so like no color, no, not even highlights. She very obviously got highlights done. And she said what she did was she put lemon juice in her hair and laid out in the sun, and her hair naturally got that light. Mind you, her those highlights were like a light brown, so either she be lying or that lemon juice works a lot more than we know. But yeah, and then like I mentioned before, I was in NJHS, and they every year they talked about collecting money, and someone suggested we do what's it called? We collect money for Ronald McDonald House, which was good, but we did research. Like we had to research our causes, and Ronald McDonald House just didn't, like in my opinion, didn't give enough money to the poor or the people in need. It just took enough. But the one I suggested was a place called DC Candlelighters. I'm pretty sure they did like 100% or like 90% of profits went to families in needs, and it was especially to families who have cancer. Growing up, one of my brothers, when I was like really little, one of my brothers was diagnosed with leukemia, and he battled leukemia for like 4 or 5 years. He survived, so like that's good. But it was a really rough time in my life. Like, no, maybe it wasn't 4 or 5 years. It was probably it was at least 3 years he struggled with leukemia. Because I do remember towards me getting memories him getting shots. But so my family relied on DC Candlelighters for help sometimes, for like emotional help, physical help. So it was like a cause really close to my family, and I suggested that. Of course, the person who suggested the Robbing Auto House was more popular than me. He also ended up going to PVI. He did SGA too. um, he obviously everyone voted for Ronald McDonald House, like a lot of them, because he was popular. Blah blah blah. But my teacher, the advisor, was like, "Hey, let's just keep DC Candlelighters in the back as a second choice. It's a pretty good thing." So, like I said, I was kicked out of NJHS, and then fast forward to graduation. They're talking about it. The advisor was talking about NJHS, like for the talked about that they raise money for DNC candlelighters. And in my head at the time, I said I really was getting shit on by the other students for suggesting this because it was going against the Ron McDonald House, but mine ended up being the one they talked about. So that was funny. Um, and then, seventh and eighth grade, I was a little tech for Shakespeare, except my brother, who was like quite a bit older than me, I also did Shakespeare in middle school, and he was like a lead or something, I guess. So the person who did Shakespeare wanted me to act so badly because it was my brother. So those 2 years, I I had one line in the Shakespeare play. And she should have known I wanted to be like behind the scenes because the year before in sixth grade for Medieval Day, we put on a little play. I wanted to be a director for Robin Hood, and I was. And our class play was better than the other class play, I will say, because I think we both did. Did we both do Robin Hood? No, I don't. Oh no, they did Joan of Arc. I'm pretty sure, and we did Robin Hood. But ours was better. But yeah, and then we our confirmation, how it laid out with like the bishop. Ours was a week before graduation, so we like had a nice we had our confirmation on Saturday, and then we had a nice little luncheon, and the eighth graders got off early, and two people that we went to who ended up going to PBI who were both pretty popular ended up hooking up and having sex. Like they lost it to each other that day. One of them, the guy, rode his bike to the girl's house and they hooked up. At least that was the rumor at the time. Also, that girl who hooked up told people that her goal in life was to be on 16 and pregnant. And I thought that was crazy at the time. And now thinking back, that is even crazier than I remember. But yeah, um, we did a little awards. I won the Shakespeare Award or the Theater Award. I'm pretty sure. I don't know why. I was always backstage. I had there was three other people who did Shakespeare both years. But I don't know. Also, like, this is really weird, but like, so Shakespeare we would go to a Shakespeare event at PVI every year, and my seventh grade year we did Macbeth, and then my eighth grade year we did some other show. But I remember seeing Maggie Norman, not knowing Maggie Norman at the time, seeing her as Lady Macbeth our eighth grade year. And I was like, wow, she's really good. I remember that. And that's crazy. But yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed my little stories from St. Timothy's. That's like most of them that I remember. It was kind of crazy and scandalous. Not really. But yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed. Okay, love ya. Bye.